My fiance lied to me about his age. I found out at his mom's birthday dinner. We'd been together 2 years, engaged for 6 months, and I was already looking at venues. He told me he was 32. I'm 27, so the gap felt normal. Not huge, not weird, just a regular couple with a 5-year difference. I never questioned it. Why would I? We met at a friend's housewarming. He walked in late, brought a nice bottle of wine, knew everyone in the room within 20 minutes. Confident, funny, easy to talk to. He asked for my number before I left and texted me the same night. I remember thinking he had it together in a way most guys my age didn't. Stable job, his own place, no drama. My friends liked him, my mom liked him. He just felt like the real thing. When he proposed, I cried. Full on ugly, cried in the middle of a restaurant. He had a whole speech ready. I said yes before he even finished it. 6 months later, I'm deep in Pinterest boards and venue spreadsheets, thinking I finally had it figured out. Then came his mom's 70th birthday dinner. His family rented out the private room at an Italian place downtown. Big long table, maybe 20 people. Lots of wine, lots of noise. I'd met most of them before, and I liked them. His aunt especially. Loud, warm, the kind of person who makes every party feel like a reunion. She carried in the cake herself. Homemade, 3 layers, candles arranged in the shape of a 7 and a 0. She set it down in front of his mom and spread her arms wide like she was presenting a prize. "Can you believe she's turning 70? She announced to the whole room. 70 years old and still running circles around all of us. The table erupted. Clapping, cheering, someone started singing. His mom was laughing and covering her face. Then his sister, who was sitting 2 seats down from me, leaned toward her husband and said loud enough for the table to hear, "God, I can't believe it. She had him when she was only 19. His mom waved her hand. "Had him at 19, had you at 22. Best decisions I ever made." My fiance was right across the table from me. He was smiling, nodding, raising his glass. And I just sat there because I'm good at math. I picked up my phone under the table, opened the calculator app, and did it slowly. His mom turned 70 tonight. She had him when she was 19. That means he was born when she was 19. 70 minus 19, 51. I put the phone face down on my lap. My mouth went dry. I looked at him, really looked at him. The gray at his temples I always thought was distinguished. The way he sometimes referenced things from the 80s, and I assumed he just had an old soul. The fact that he'd never once shown me his ID, never mentioned a college roommate, deflected any time I asked what he was doing in his 20s. He was smiling at his mom, completely relaxed, like there was nothing wrong. I leaned across the table and said quietly enough that no one else could hear, "How old are you?" He looked at me. Just for a second, something shifted behind his eyes. Then he picked up his wine glass, smiled that smile I thought I was in love with, and said, "Age is just a number, baby." I excused myself. I walked to the bathroom, locked the door, sat on the edge of the sink, and called my best friend. She picked up on the second ring. I told her what just happened in about 45 seconds. She was silent for a moment and then said very calmly, "Get his ID." I asked her how. She said, "Tell him you forgot your wallet and you need cash. Ask to borrow his." I walked back out to that table, sat down, waited for a natural pause in the conversation. Then I touched his arm and said I'd forgotten my wallet at home. Could I borrow a 20 for the coat check later? He didn't even hesitate, just reached into his jacket, pulled out his wallet, and handed it to me. I slipped his driver's license out from behind his credit cards, looked at the date of birth, January 14th, 1973. I sat with that number for a second. 51 years old. Not 32, 51. He had looked me in the face on the night we met and told me he was 32 years old. He had proposed to me. I had cried. I had said yes. I had spent the last 6 months planning a wedding with a man whose real age I didn't even know. I slid the license back into the wallet, placed the wallet on the table between us, folded my hands in my lap. He was laughing at something his uncle said. I didn't say a word. I stood up, picked up my purse, and walked out of that restaurant. Through the private room, through the main dining area, through the front door, and out into the cold. I sat in my car for a few minutes, then I drove home. He has called me 11 times since I left. 11. I watched every single call come in and go to voicemail. I don't know what he's going to say. I don't know what explanation exists for this. I don't know what kind of person looks someone in the eye and shaves 19 years off their age and then proposes marriage. But I know I'm not picking up that phone.